Hey guys, Bill Soriano from Pittsburgh, and it's Sunday, July 9th, about 9 a.m. here Eastern Time, 8:52 a.m. I'm going to go over the 26, actually I have 28 Forex pairs in my watch list, and in this video I'm going to do the weekly outlook where I go through all 26 pairs, and then I will drop this video in my Forex Smart Money Trading Academy group right here, and it'll be here on my YouTube channel, and also it'll be in my Forex group, and in a couple other groups here on Facebook that I have. But first of all, I want to explain to you what we're doing here today. We go through all 28 Forex pairs in my watch list, and we identify what the daily trend bias is. Then we look for the 4-hour order block that's going with that daily bias, right? So if the daily bias is bullish, we identify a bullish order block to buy from. And if the daily trend is bearish, we identify a bearish order block to trade, to sell from. We mark up a point of interest inside of that 4-hour block, and that is nothing more than the open of the candle that we've identified as the institutional candle or the banker candle to identify that order block. And then we set our alerts at the 4-hour order block POI and wait for price to hit it. Now, I'm going to show you how to use a free indicator here to help you identify these order blocks if you're new to trading. This indicator works about 80% of the time. Sometimes I don't use the order blocks that it gives me. Sometimes it gives me order blocks that aren't going with the higher time frame trend, so I pick an order block that is going with the higher time frame trend. These order blocks must meet 3 criteria. They must lead to a break of structure. They must have an engulfing candle after the banker candle or institutional candle, whatever you call it, and that should occur with the next candle is best or the candle after that, and they must cause imbalance, right? Order blocks must not have been already mitigated or touched. And when the 4-hour POI or point of interest alert goes off, I drop down to the 15-minute chart and I wait for my entry model, which is the lower time frame flip, which uses a choke or change of character and a break of structure. And then we identify the 15-minute order block to trade from. But I go over that during the week when I make videos, and as my order block, as my point of interest are hit. I show you the trades, what we're looking for structure-wise for that lower time frame flip, and how to identify it, right? So that we know where to set our limit order to trade from. Okay, so let's get into the charts here. And so I've gone through all of my 28 pairs here, and I've removed all of the drawings I had on there from last week. Quite a few trades went off last week. I posted all of them here in the group, right? There's some live videos here in the group as well, but I'm not going to be doing live sessions anymore on Facebook because Facebook just doesn't do anything to help me get more people to see my videos. So there's just no point in doing live videos. I'm just going to focus on building the YouTube channel and putting the videos there and then dropping them into the group so that you can see them. So this indicator that we use here is called Smart Money Concepts Lux Algo. So if you go to your indicator list, you'll be able to search for it. You see I have it here in my favorites here. Where is that? Right here, Smart Money Concepts Lux Algo. Okay, and this just helps you to identify your order blocks. It will give you some order blocks here, as you can see. So the first thing we want to do is when we get to a pair, we go to the daily chart and we say to ourselves, okay, what is the trend bias? We also have a 13-day EMA, a 62 EMA, and a 200 EMA. The 13 is the red line, the 62 is green, the 200 is blue. This sometimes will help us identify the trend when it's a little bit harder to identify. You can easily see here that the current bias on this is bearish, right? So even if you were to scroll out, you could see that it's been bearish overall as well. So, but we use these 3 moving averages here. As you know, smart money trading doesn't use a lot of indicators to take the trades. We don't use any indicator for the signal to take the trade. But we use a few indicators just to help us to identify trend and our order blocks, right? So this is definitely here. We could see that this is definitely bearish. So when we come back here to the 4 hour, we're looking for a bearish order block. So these two down here are bullish. And what it's given us this order block all the way up here. So this is one of those situations where the indicator just isn't giving us, in my opinion, the best order block to trade from. So as I'm looking at this, what I could see right here is there's an order block right here. It's already been hit, so we're going to ignore that one. And then as you come up here, you know, right here, we have this order block right here. There's an engulfing candle, and then we have a lot of imbalance. We have some imbalance here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to this area right here is also good. See, we have imbalance here. Then I'm going to pick an area a little bit closer. So I'm going to go with this last up candle right here before this down move. And I'm going to put my point of interest line right there and set my alert. Okay. And then we're going to move on. So we're going to try to go through these pairs, you know, pretty quickly here. Again, we go back to the daily chart. We could see here that this the order flow here on the daily chart is definitely bearish. So looking at the 4 hour, right? We have kind of the same situation here. We already this order block here has already been touched several times, and we don't have a break of structure here to identify a new order block. Okay, so there's no break of structure, so that tells us we have to go up higher to identify an order block. And again, right here, we got a nice banker candle, a big engulfing candle after it, and we have lots of imbalance. So for some reason, the indicator is ignoring these areas because it thinks that they're maybe too aggressive, right? Or too volatile areas. Because there's not so much as of a consolidation here on the 4 hour like there is up here. But again, we don't trade directly from these 4 hour order blocks, right? We wait for price to hit our point of interest. Then we come to the chart, we drop down to the 15-minute, and we wait for our lower time frame flip entry model before we would take this trade. So because of that, we can work from some of these more volatile areas or more aggressive areas. These are basically decisional areas where up here you could see that this is your extreme area up here, and then this is your extreme order block up here, and that's what this indicator likes to identify a lot of times is the extreme area. These areas down here are what we call decisional areas, and that's why when price hits these point of interest, we have to have something else to look for. We look for a confirmation on the 15-minute chart, which is our lower time frame flip. So because of that, like I said, we are able to work with these areas here, because if price isn't going to react here, it'll just go right through and it will eventually move up to here. But we're going to pick this point of interest right here. Okay, so right here, we go to the daily chart. We could see that this is very bullish, right? We could see that AUD, JPY, most of the JPY pairs have been very bullish for a while. So we're going to look at this order block down here to trade from, right? We want to take this up. We don't want to take this down, okay? Now, it's identifying some order blocks here for us to sell from because there's been a change of character here on the higher time frame. When you get this break of structure here, that gives you a change of character. But to me, I'm looking at the daily chart to determine the trend. And we do have a change of character here as well. But that's just not enough for me to say that the trend has changed. Okay. To me, this is still very bullish. So I'm not going to try to sell it. I'm going to look for the bullish order block. And it's giving me this order block down here, which I am going to use. So sometimes what I'll do is, even though this indicator will will identify the wrong candle to identify the order block. I just use that area because I'm just going to put my point of interest on the open of that banker candle right there. Okay, so we're just going to go through all 28 pairs, like I say, here on my watch list in this video. And then we'll wait for these point of interest lines to get hit during the week. And when that happens, I will make some videos showing you how to execute the lower time frame flip, how to read the market structure on the 15-minute chart. Okay, so this one here, it's a little bit harder to identify the trend in, right? So obviously been going down, but then we're just kind of consolidating here right in this range. Okay, so if you look at the indicators here, the indicators are telling you that this is right now bearish. And so we're just going to use the indicators right now, and we're going to find a 4-hour order block, which is right up here. Now you can see this order block I don't like because there's no engulfing candle after the banker candle. And so that's just not a good order block for me. You know? So sometimes what I'll do is I'll drop down to the 1-hour chart to see so we can identify this 4-hour area, right? And then we can drop down to the 1-hour to see if there's a better candle in here that we can use. So as we drop down to the 1-hour here, we see that we don't really have a better candle. So I just don't like anything with this pair here. I don't like this area right here because there's no engulfing candle and there's very little imbalance as well. And if I go up to the next ones, I see the same thing over and over again. So I'm just going to skip this pair. Okay, if we go to AUD USD, again, we'd have to say that the current order flow is bearish, right? Price is below the 200-day. The 13 and the 62 are both below the 200-day, and the 13 is below the 62. So we'll find a bearish order block here. Now this order block's already been hit. Okay, so let's see if we can find something else here. Again, I don't like this order block. And I don't really like this order block up here as well, because I don't have an engulfing candle after the institutional candle. The institutional candle is very big. Okay. Well, actually, if we use this, okay, here we go right here. We can use this area right here. We can use that area right there because we have a institutional candle, which is the last up candle before this down move. We have a big engulfing candle. We have imbalance, causes a break of structure, causes imbalance. So we can certainly identify, we can certainly trade from this area right here. Okay, now we get into the CAD pairs. And if you're watching this video, it usually takes about 45 minutes to an hour, but you don't have to watch the whole thing. Once you get the hang of it, you can go mark up your own pairs, or maybe you only like to watch certain pairs. Maybe you have 10 to 12 pairs that you like, and you're just going to stick with those. Okay, let's we're going to remove the drawings here. Let's see what we have here. If we go to the daily chart, we're going to see we had a nice move up here. So we definitely had some bullish action here, but overall the trend to me on the daily chart is bearish because we're way below the 200-day. Both the 13 and the 62 are below the 200-day. So really on this one, if we look at the 4-hour, the 4-hour is kind of bearish as well. So sometimes the daily is telling us one thing and the 4-hour is telling us the other thing. This isn't the case here. We're going to definitely look to trade from this order block up here. We don't have a lot of imbalance, and we also don't have, so here's what we're going to do here. This isn't the best area because we also have some equal highs right above it here. This is actually the best area to trade from. Okay, this area has already been hit. That area has already been hit. Actually, all of these order blocks here have already been hit. Okay, so if you see, if we say, hey, let's take this banker candle right here, right? We got a nice engulfing candle after it. But you could see here, you need a break of structure. You get a break of structure here, and then price comes up and it goes into that order block and it reacts down. Okay. So really what we need to do here is we're probably going to need to identify a break of structure. And then, so we're going to look for a move down even further here. And we'll get a break of structure to the downside, which will give us an order block in this area right here to sell from. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to set a point of interest alert. But this is actually what I'll label here a break of structure alert. So in this case, I'm waiting for price to move down further so that I can identify a new order block, because I don't like the order blocks up here. They've already been hit and the price has already reacted off of them. Okay. CAD JPY. Okay, let's remove this drawing here. This is very, very bullish, as you can see here. Drop down to the 4-hour. We can see right here that price kind of just came down and didn't really, it just barely hit our point of interest here. So we could identify this pair probably as a pair that we could probably look for a trade for right away this week. Okay, because you could see this order block here. We do get a nice candle after that first candle there. And if we put our point of interest line right there, we could see that it just barely does get hit, right? So I would look for price to come down here even further into this order block. And then what we could do is we could identify a break of structure to the upside, right? And we can identify our choke. Okay. So right now, our choke would be too far up. So we're going to look for price to come back a little bit further into this order block, hopefully. And then we'll be able to identify where our change of character would take place a little bit better. CHF JPY. Again, very bullish on the daily. So if we're looking for an order block here, this order block's already been hit. These order blocks has already been hit. So the one I like is right down here, actually, because I got a nice engulfing candle after it. Right? And I'm going to put the point of interest right at the open of that red candle right there. That right there. Let's set our alert right there. And let's go to the EUR pairs here. Again, the daily chart on this appears to be bullish. And see, we get a break of structure right up here as well. So it's giving us this order block right here to trade from. Nice engulfing candle after it. There's a lot of imbalance. So we have this banker candle right here, that red candle, the last down candle before the move up that causes the break of structure and the imbalance. And so that's where we'll put our alert right there. That's not the right alert. Excuse me. I'm looking for a horizontal line alert. There we go. EURCAD again. We got, it appears to be bullish, obviously. There was a pretty good move down here in this. So really, you know, this is one where you could see a clear 2x2 on the way down. So if we look at the 4 hour, appears to have bullish structure. So the daily is kind of showing some bullish structure here. And it's also, above the 200-day, and the two moving averages are above the 200-day. So I think it's safe. Sometimes we have to use the 4 hour to help us identify what the bias is, right? So what I mean is, you could see here that the bias on the 4 hour is definitely bullish, right? But when you look at the daily, the order flow is kind of bearish here, but price is still above the 200-day, and it's still at both indicators, both moving averages are still above the 200-day as well. So we're going to look for an order block here on the 4 hour chart, a bullish one. And so let's see what we have here. We have this area right down here where it looks like we have a red candle somewhere, and then we have this nice engulfing candle here, and then we have the break of structure and the imbalance. So we could just kind of put these three little candles here together. One of them is a red candle right there, so we'll identify that as our point of interest line right there. Let's go to EURCHF. Okay, the daily is telling us it's bearish, right? We see a nice order block right here, an engulfing candle, some imbalance. So we're just going to take the one that the indicator is giving us, because we're going to identify our point of interest on that banker candle right there. And we're just going to use the open of that banker candle. Okay, so the daily on this one is bearish. And again, we have a nice order block right here that the indicator is giving us. And our point of interest would be right there at the open of that banker candle. I do have a video also I could send you to show you how to identify the banker candles, make it easy for you if you're having trouble identifying those. I have a 9-part Smart Money Concepts video series. If you haven't gotten that yet from me, make sure you drop a comment here somewhere. There's contact information inside in the description area of this video, where you can email me, text me, or even contact me on Messenger. So let's see, the order flow here is definitely bullish. While we're on it, let's get to the daily here. Yeah, definitely very bullish order flow, right? And so that's giving us this area down here, which I don't like as much because I don't have an engulfing candle here. But we do have the two candles moving away. That kind of gives me a reason to just go ahead and highlight this area here. So we're going to put that right there. Okay. URNZD. See. This obviously appears to be bullish on the daily. 4-hour order flow looks to be bearish to me, right? So it's bullish, very, very bullish on the daily, right? This is one where, see, the daily is telling me one thing. The daily is telling me it's bullish, but the 4-hour is definitely showing me some bearish order flow here. So this one I'm just going to pass on this one today. Sometimes I just don't like the structure Again, this is bullish. 4 hour is not going against that, right? It doesn't have to confirm it, right? So when you look at the 4 hour, the 4 hour bias doesn't have to necessarily confirm the daily bias, but it shouldn't be giving you a completely different signal, right? And that's what it did in that last pair. But in this pair here, we're fine. So we could agree with bullish order flow here, and we have a nice area to trade from right here. So this is the indicator is using this big candle area right here. So I'm just going to go ahead and use that. I'm going to change that to this right here, because this is the actual banker candle right here. And that area is just way too big. This is where our alert will go for EUR USD. And again, here we're very bullish on the daily. 4 hours telling us the same thing. Look at this order block right here. See how you get this liquidity grab with this wick? You got a nice big engulfing candle and lots of imbalance. And it's telling us to come all the way down here. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to use this candle right here. And again, we're going to wait for our confirmation on the 15-minute, our lower time frame flip. So some people trade right from these 4 hour order blocks. That's where they set their limit order. We don't do that. So we can be a little, we can give a little bit of leeway when we're selecting our order blocks, and we can use a lot of the decisional areas because we wait for our lower time frame flip confirmation on the 15-minute chart. Okay, so we're bullish. Well, let's see. Again, here's a nice order block right here. The indicator is taking us all the way down to here, but I'm not crazy about this banker candle here, but here's another banker candle that's better. And you also have an engulfing candle after it. And it leads to a break of structure and gives you a lot of imbalance. So I'm going to pick that one right there. And let's set our alert right there. And like I said, this indicator is nice to use if you're new. And that's why I use it for you here. But I also use it to show you that as you get more experience in identifying your order blocks, sometimes you won't agree with the order block that the indicator is giving you, and that's absolutely fine. Okay, this one tends to be the bias seems to be bullish to me. And I'm getting the same thing here from the 4 hour as well. So I have this nice area right here, which our point of interest line hasn't been hit yet. So the order block, price has moved into the order block. That's okay. But if you look, our point of interest line would be at the open of this red candle here. And so price hasn't hit that yet. So where we say here in our rules that the order block must not have already been mitigated. So actually what I'm saying here is the point of interest should not have been hit yet. Okay, so in this case, the order block is actually mitigated, right? Because this wick does come down into the order block and it reacts off of it. But price didn't hit our point of interest line inside that order block. So that's why we're able to go ahead and use this order block and use this point of interest, because price never hit our point of interest. Okay? Makes sense? Hopefully it makes sense. Again, very bullish here on the daily. So on the 4 hour, we're looking at this area down here, which this point of interest has already been hit. So we could come down here a little bit lower to this area. Right, we get some nice liquidity grab. We have a big bullish engulfing after that, and our point of interest line would be all the way down here. Right? So very close to the bottom of our order block, which doesn't usually happen most of the time. Okay, but that's the last down candle before this up move. So this one's already been hit. Prices reacted off of it, so we're going to wait for this one to get hit. So again, very bullish order flow here in GBP NZD. Right, again, let's see what we got here. We have this order block that looks like we forgot to get rid of from last week. So we're going to go ahead and keep it because price has not hit our point of interest line yet. So we're going to keep that. We have an alert set, as you can see there. And let's move on. The daily here, very, very bullish, as you can see. So on the 4-hour, we have these order blocks right in here. Let's see. Not a big fan of any of these candles here, huh? Okay, so right here, you could use this banker candle right here. This red candle right here, wick to wick. This one right here. Let's make that a little bigger, and then we can just use the open of that candle for our point of interest. Does it meet our 3 criteria? Let's see. Does it lead to a break of structure? Yes. Does it leave any, is there an engulfing candle after it? Yes, the big blue candle here. Does it leave imbalance? And it does leave some imbalance down in here. So NZD CAD, let's see what we're looking at here. Appears to be bearish order flow on NZD CAD. I don't like okay, let me look at this again here. So on the daily, what do we see? Definitely bearish order flow on the daily. The 4 hours really telling us a little bit different story, right? I mean, we have a choke plus, we have a 2x2 on the way up here. Well, there's not really a big pullback though. And of course, this could just be the zone that it's trying to identify. Just hold on for a second here. Yeah, what's up? That's okay. Let's just lay on my couch. What's up? Huh? Oh, okay. Yeah. Sounds good. Let me know. Does she? Let you get a belly in. Yeah. I'll punch you in the nose, Violet. Huh? Did you? Yeah. Oh, okay. Oh, I thought that. I thought that. All right. What? Yeah, back to work tomorrow. I went yesterday. Not yet. Not yet. But yeah, I gotta talk. Tank's calling me today. Yeah, Tank's gonna call me today. So, yeah. Yeah, it just doesn't make any sense. Well, that's when you get busy around that time. Yeah. Alrighty. All right. Love you. Oh, oh, sorry about that. Let's get back to where we were at here. Okay. NZD CAD. Let's look at the daily chart here. What were we saying? We're saying this is kind of bearish, right? The 4-hour, however, is very bullish. Came up and hit this order block, but it looks like it hasn't hit the point of interest up here. Let me see. Yeah, it looks like it just hit it and then reacted off of it. So we're going to mark that up here, and we're going to say, let's look at this for a sell this week. So we won't set an alert there because it's already been hit. But we could set another alert just to remind us, because more than likely price is going to move back up into this area, and then we'll be able to get a lower time frame flip up there. I think this might have been one of the pairs that we traded on Friday. Can't remember now. Okay, NZD CAD. This is definitely bearish order flow. And so we have this order block up here. Let's see, we got this last up candle right here before this down move. So if we use this order block up here, like it's given us, price definitely moved into the order block, but you could see it never hit the actual point of interest, would be right there. So there is a chance price comes back up here because we do have some imbalance in this area here. And then, of course, we have lots of imbalance over here as well for it to go higher. Again, it's okay because we don't take the trade as soon as it hits our point of interest, right? We drop down to the 15-minute and we wait for our confirmation there. Okay, NZD CHF. The daily is definitely appears to be bearish, as you could see. And then we have this order block here that, again, hasn't been hit. So we left this from last week. You can see that there's a point of interest line right there. And so, like I'm saying, you have to understand that the daily is definitely telling you that the overall trend is bearish. Okay. Now on the 4-hour, you have to see, for price to come up into our order block, there has to be some order flow, some bullish order flow, right? But that's why we use the daily to determine what the trend is. And then we just watch to make sure that, it's giving us a choke right here, which is a change of character, but we don't have a choke plus. So we don't have that 2x2 on the way up telling us that, hey, maybe this bearish trend that you see on the daily chart is getting ready to change. We don't quite have that yet. So that's why we're still using this 4-hour order block to sell from. But again, we need price to hit our point of interest line, and then we need our confirmation on the 15-minute chart. Okay, so very bearish here. I'm sorry, very bullish here, obviously. And so we have an order block right here, which prices come into, but our banker candle, our point of interest hasn't been hit. We're going to use this order block here. And you can see that our point of interest is right there, and that hasn't been hit yet. So we're still good to trade from that area. And this order flow here is kind of bearish. Kind of bearish here. So this area here was already hit. It already reacted off of that area. So if we go a little bit higher up, we could see that we have another area that it can come back into, right? We got this candle up here. We got a nice bearish engulfing after it here. and it has left some imbalance, so we can use this candle right here. And we could put our alert right there. Price may come up there, react, and give us confirmation on our lower time frame before moving down further. Or it can just move down further from here and come back later on, right? USD CAD. Let's look on the daily chart, and it appears to have bearish order flow on the daily chart, right? We have a choke here and a move lower. We have a bigger choke here. I'm going to stick with bearish. To me, the 4 hour. Of course, the 4 hours coming up into this order block here. Again, we don't have a choke plus. Once price would break this break of structure here, though, that would give us a choke plus. So that's a little discouraging there. But right here, we do have a area that we can possibly trade from. And we'll put our point of interest right there. Okay. So price can come up here and it can hit this point of interest, and then it can react off of it. Now, if we get a big move right up through there, we have to watch for a change of trend. So let's just watch for a change. May change to bullish, right? Just want to leave myself a note here so I remember to double check that. Okay. USD CHF. Okay, USD CHF appears to be bearish order flow, bearish on the 4 hour. Of course, this area's already been hit down here. Oh, so we got bearish order flow. I'm sorry. So for bearish order flow, we're looking at this area right here. So there's an engulfing candle. We do have a little bit of imbalance up here, not much. Our point of interest line here has not been hit yet. So we can actually look to sell from that area. And let's just make sure that we were bearish. Yes, we were bearish on the daily. So we have identified a bearish order block on the 4 hour right here. In the last pair, USD JPY. So we've gone through all 28 pairs now on my watch list, right? Very bullish. Prices come down through this order block. We have another order block down here, though, that we can trade from, right? We have this. We have a nice bullish engulfing after it. It's left a little bit of imbalance down below here. Some imbalance right here as well, but not much. But that gives us that area right there. Okay, so what we've done here today, guys, on this session is we've gone through all, let's see, we've gone through all 28 Forex pairs in my watch list. We identified the daily trend bias. We identified a 4 hour order block with the daily bias. We identified a point of interest inside of that 4 hour order block. We set our alert there, right? We used our trading view indicator, the Smart Money Concepts Lux Algo, just to help us in identifying the order blocks. Works about 80% of the time. So for beginners, it's very good if you're trying to identify your own order blocks. The order blocks must meet 3 criteria, must lead to a break of structure, must have an engulfing candle, and must cause imbalance. The order blocks must not have been already mitigated or touched. And actually, it's not really the order block, it's the point of interest, right? Inside of that order block, right? And then, of course, when the 4 hour POI alerts goes off, I'll drop down a 15-minute chart, wait for my entry model, which is the lower time frame flip. So that's what we've done today on this session, guys. I hope it's been informative for you. If it has, make sure that you hit the like button on this video. Also subscribe to our channel. Comment down below if you got some value from this video. Uh, that'll help me build this YouTube channel up a little bit. Like I said, we're not doing the live sessions anymore inside of not doing the live sessions anymore in our Forex Smart Money Trading Academy group. We'll still be posting all of these YouTube videos in here after we publish them. So if you need to register for the 9-part Smart Money Concepts video series, if you haven't done that yet, make sure you drop me a message and I'll send you the link to register. If you're ready to join our community, over 6,000 traders that we have, all part of IM Academy as well. You get access to everything we have in our community, our proprietary indicator, and everything at IM Academy as well. All the live sessions in both areas and all the training videos and recorded videos there as well. Drop me a note for that. I'll send you the link to register. Right now, you can save $85, right? If you're interested in that, let me know. I'll explain it to you. Or as a matter of fact, I explain it to you right now. You're going to get, right now, until the end of the month, they're having their birthday sale. So you're going to get $35 off when you register. And then there's also a way for you to get a $50 rebate after you make your first monthly payment. So let me know. I'll drop you a link to that. They offer a 7-day money-back guarantee, so you can try everything out for 7 days. If you're not happy, contact the company, get your money back as long as you're within that 7-day window. But once you get started with this, you'll see there's no reason to do that. You're going to plant your flag here and stay for life. Bill Soriano from Pittsburgh. Have a great weekend, guys. What's left of it here Sunday. And have a great next week as well. And look for more videos coming out. I will post them in the group this week as our point of interest line gets hit. I'll drop down to the 15-minute chart. I'll show you how to read the structure there to identify your lower time frame flip, right? Which involves the choke, the break of structure, and then gives you a 15-minute order block to set your limit order at. Okay, so Bill Soriano from Pittsburgh, have a great day.